Hello students, in this video we will learn how to name carbon compounds based on the number of carbon atoms, based on the number and based on their functional groups. So we look at their prefixes, suffixes and also at their word root as in from where the word originates, or how do we get the name of that particular compound from starting from that word. So let's begin with first starting with the word root based on the number of compounds. Okay, so I will divide it into two columns. One will tell us the number of carbon atoms and the other one will be telling us what the word root will be or the term to be used. So let's begin with the first carbon atom. If the number of carbon atoms are 1, we can write it as meth. Okay, as in how we have for methane. Then if there are 2 carbon atoms, we write it as eth, like how we have ethane. I'm just writing it over here. Just to give you an example, we'll learn the suffixes later on. For 3, when the number of carbon atoms is 3, it becomes prop. For 4, it is bute. For 5, it is pent. For 6, it is hex, as in hexagon, pentagon. Okay. 7, it is hept. 8, it is oct. 9, it is non. And 10, it is dec. Okay. So these are the word roots that we need to use in order to name carbon compounds. Okay, and these are the terms that we begin with for based on the carbon atom. Like for example, if we have a carbon atom like for example it says, okay, and we have hydrogen atoms surrounding the carbon atoms, completing the valence electrons like this. So if we were to name such a compound, we would look first at the number of carbon atoms which are there in this structural diagram. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. If there are 4 carbon atoms, what we need to use? Bute. Okay, bute. Next we are going to look after this whether they are straight chain, double bonded, triple bonded. Okay, those are the functional groups. We will come to that after this. In this case, the functional group is all single bond, as a result of which we just write it as bute because of the fact that there are 4 carbon atoms, and ane because there are single carbon atom. So next we will go to learn from here about the functional groups. So and we'll, for example, what we'll do is we will use 3 carbon atom prop as our word root and see how we can form different examples with this word root based on the changing functional groups. Let's go to that first. So your first step is always about identifying the number of carbon atoms. Okay, once you have identified the number of carbon atoms, we need to go and look at the functional group that is present. First thing in a functional group that you need to check is whether there are single bond, double bonds or triple bond. After you have checked whether there is single, double or triple bond, you need to check the other functional group that may be there. You may have a halogen over there, an alcohol, aldehyde, ketone or even a carboxylic acid. Let's solve few examples so that we understand what are functional groups. So before we go into naming of the carbon compounds based on the functional groups, let us first understand what are functional groups. Okay, I'll take an example over here. We'll take an example of methane, and this is the structural formula of methane. Okay, CH4. Let's say hydrogen atom, which I'm marking now, is replaced by a chlorine atom. Okay, so let's see where you have a transformation wherein the methane gets converted to what we can call as chloromethane. Okay, notice what is happening over here. This hydrogen atom is being replaced by the chlorine atom. Okay, when a hydrogen atom is replaced by any other atom of another element in such a way that the valency criteria is satisfied, okay, then that atom becomes known as a hetero atom, and this hetero atom gives this methane molecule a specific set of properties. Okay, it could be a variation in their boiling point, melting point, could some more chemical properties can be linked to that. Okay, so basically what happens is this hetero atom replaces the hydrogen atom from its compound, a compound being methane in this case, and certain specific properties are attributed to the compound, okay, so that it alters its previous behavior irrespective of the length or nature of the carbon chain. And when that happens, this heteroatom is called as a functional group. Okay, it's called as a functional group. Reason being, this heteroatom changes the function of this compound when it attaches it to this. So when this hydrogen atom is replaced by this chlorine atom, this particular compound, the function of this compound changes. It no longer behaves the way it was behaving when this hydrogen atom was with these other three hydrogen atoms linked to carbon atom. It behaves quite differently. Okay? So the atom that replaces the hydrogen atom is known as heteroatom, and that heteroatom is referred to as the functional group of that compound because it gives the compound a different set of functions. It behaves differently compared to its original parent. Okay? So these are your functional groups. The functional groups always end up changing the function of that compound when these heteroatoms link to that. So remember, heteroatoms are nothing but atoms of elements which replace hydrogen atom. So they come in place of hydrogen atom, and since they come in place of they give a new function to this particular compound, and when they give a new, that is why they are called as functional groups of that particular compound. Okay, so now that we know what are functional groups, okay, let's move forward with naming carbon compounds based on their functional groups. So if you notice over here, I have mentioned under functional groups prefix and suffix. That tells you that a particular word will come prior to the word root. In case of prefix, okay, like how you have preliminary exams or prelims, that is an exam before the main exam, so it is preliminary. And then you have suffix, okay, like how you have successor. Successor is somebody who succeeds you, that means comes after you. Prime Minister Narendra Modi succeeded Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. So that means Prime Minister Narendra Modi came after or took over from Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. So that is what it is. So that means somebody taking over, so coming afterwards. So here suffix means it comes after the word root. So just giving an example, to suffix, okay, and successor both start with SU, and prefix and prelims both start with PRE. So just a way to remember things. Let's begin with the first one, and we'll use the word root prop, as in 3 carbon atoms. Okay, so we'll use the word prop. That means we are, I'll just write it in bracket, 3 carbon atoms, okay, are present. Now we'll construct this particular thing. So we'll take the first thing in which we have a functional group is alkane. Okay, alkane, and this would be a suffix. So over here, and I'll write it over here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put the functional group as, okay, alkane is the functional group, and whether it is suffix or not, I'll mark it this way. So suffix always comes after the word root. Okay, so I'll mark the dash before that, and I'll put ane. So this is a functional group alkane when it is for single chain. Okay, these are single bonds, you can see single bond. Okay. An example of that would be propane. Okay, and propane is looking it looks something like this. Red. So there are 3 carbon compounds, and we need to satisfy the valency of carbon. So this one has just 1, we need 3 more. So I'll put it in blue. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. So this carbon atom is now completely satisfied with 4 bonds. Here there are already 2, so we need just 2 more. And here there is only 1, so we need 3. And that is your propane. Okay, so single chain, and how do we name it? Propane. Again, the word root continues to be prop. Okay, so I'll write it as prop. With 3 carbon atoms. Now, for a double bond, okay, it is known as alkene. Put over here double bond. And once again it is a suffix ending with ene, or alkene. Okay, as you notice over here, there is alkane, alkene, and the example would be blue, prop in. Okay, and if we go to construct a structural diagram for this, it will be somewhere along this line. First of all, we need 3 carbon atoms like this. Okay, now since there is a double bond, we'll have to put a double bond somewhere. So let's put a double bond over here. If we put a double bond over there, that means this carbon atom already has 2 bonds and needs just 2 more. So we put 1 over here, 1 over here. That satisfies this valency requirements of this carbon atom. Here this carbon atom has got 3 bonds already, so we just need 1 more. And now there are 4 bonds with this. This carbon atom has only 1, which means we need 3 for this. And that is your propene. So have a look over here that this will only have 4 and 6 carbon atoms. This one had 8 carbon atoms. So this is C3H8, whereas this is C3H6. Okay, we have learnt about their general formulas in the previous video. We can apply that for different number of carbon atoms. Let's go to the next, that is alkyne with a triple bond. Once again the word root is prop with 3 carbon atoms, and we'll write over here as alkyne. Alkyne, that is with a triple bond. Okay, and the suffix is -ine, okay, ending with yne, just like how we have over here alkyne. An example of that would be propyne. Okay. If we construct, it will be something like this, CCC. Now there is a triple bond, so we'll put a triple bond maybe here. Okay, now this carbon atom already has 3 bonds. just needs one more, so we'll put maybe over here H. This carbon atom has 4 already, so it doesn't need any more bonding to take place, so we leave it over there. This carbon atom has only 1, which means we need 3 more. So 1, 2 and 3. And now if you have a look, there are 3 carbon atoms and 4 hydrogen atoms, so this will be C3H4. Okay. So this is how we have different functional groups based on whether they have got single bond, double bond or a triple bond. Alkane, alkene, alkyne. These are functional groups based on the number of bonds. Okay, and all of these in this case are all suffixes. That means you have propane, propene, propyne. Similarly, if you have 2 carbon atoms, it would have been ethane, ethene, ethyne. Or for 4 carbon atoms, this would have been butane, butene, butyne. Okay, it remains the same. Let's go to the other functional groups now. Okay, here I have listed them down separately. I have made separate groups for prefix and suffix because some you'll have prefix, some you'll have suffix. Okay, depending on the halogen group that may be present over here. So let us go with the first word root, wherein we are talking about based on the first functional group. Here we will be talking about the halogens. Okay, let's look at the halogens, and in this case once again we'll take prop as our word root with 3 carbon atom as an example. In case of halogens, we always have prefixes. Now prefixes will depend on the element that is the functional group. In case of the compound, if let's say if the element is chlorine, okay, in case of chlorine, then it will be known as chloro followed by the word root. So we'll take an example over here with prop as a word root, and we'll write it over here as chloro prop in. Okay, now have a look over here how we have named it. This is telling you the functional group, but there will be 2 functional groups over here. One functional group telling you the main functional group in case of this, which is a halogen. Next one is telling you how many carbon compounds are present in the compound. And the third, which is also part of the functional group, tells you whether it is a straight chain, double bond, whether there are double bonds or triple bonds. So in this case there is a single bond. Okay, in case there were double bonds, okay, then it would have looked something like this. It would have said chloro prop in. Okay, you see this in, and in case of triple bond it would have been chloro prop ine. Okay, this is how it would have looked. So let's stick to only single bonded compounds when we are learning about various functional groups. Okay, and this compound would look something like this if we draw the structural diagram. So since there is 3 carbon atoms, so we have 1, 2, 3 over here, and what we can do is we can fill them up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And since it says chloro, which means the chloro is the heteroatom replacing one of the hydrogen atoms, so what we do is we probably replace this one and we write it as Cl. So this now becomes your chloropropane. Chloropropane, why? Because there is Cl as your functional group. There are prop because there are 3 carbon atoms, and ane because there are all single bonds in this carbon atom. So I'll erase this part and we'll go to the next one, which we'll continue with prop only. as our word root with 3 carbon atom. And the next one after halogens is your alcohol, a very important group. So alcohol is a functional group and it is always a suffix and it will always be written as OL. So I'll put a dash in front of OL showing that it is a suffix. Here this is a prefix, that means it comes before the word root. So if we take prop as our word root with 3 carbon atoms, it would look something like this. Okay, so I'll put this in red, prop a null. Okay, I'll divide it into 3 parts once again, just like I did it for chloropropane. Prop tells you how many carbon atoms are there, and there are 3 carbon atoms which we have taken. An in this case tells you that there are single bonds, no double bond, no triple bond, and OL tells you that the functional group is alcohol, okay, which is OL, the suffix being OL. Okay, and in this case, like just like how halogens we have for Cl, for chloro, and if we take bromine, okay, Br, then it will be bromo. So like bromopropane. So same thing can be written as bromopropane based on the halogens. Alcohol. Halogens, by the way, are a type of or a group of elements that are classified as halogens. We'll learn about halogens when we do the periodic table. For now, we just focus on naming carbon compounds. Alcohol, okay, it will have the functional group OH. So I'll put this over here, OH, okay, and naming wise it is always OL at the end, like how you see propanol. So if you draw a structural diagram, it should look something along these lines. Because it is prop, so there are 3 carbon atoms and we'll fill them up: hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. This is how propane should actually look like. But because we have got an alcohol group attached to that, so we'll replace this hydrogen atom with an alcohol group, that is OH. And have a look over here. In this case, in case of the suffixes, this was actually what? This was propane. Okay, and have a look, compare this word with this word, and you will see that the E is replaced with OL in case of this compound. So suffixes usually replace the E at the end, okay, like how we see in this case, in case of propanol. And this is how the structure, see there are 3 carbon atoms, that is why propane, it was AN we have put because there are all single bonds, and OL is the functional group over here. So this is the main functional group, changing the function of this particular compound. So this becomes an alcohol. From a normal hydrocarbon, it becomes an alcohol group, okay, propanol. Let's go to the next functional group. Our next functional group is known as an aldehyde, okay, and it is usually marked as CHO. So there's an oxygen atom, there's a hydrogen atom, and the carbon atom is involved in this type of a functional group. Now, in case of this, it is always a suffix, so I'll mark it as hyphen, after that AL, and we'll take the word root once again as prop with 3 carbon atoms, and naming wise it is, that is the thread, prop null. Okay, notice once again this is actually propane. okay, and E is replaced by Al. Okay, so in place of E the suffix comes Al, and if we draw the structural diagram it will look something along these lines: C, C, C. Okay, now our group that comes over there is CHO. Okay, so in this case I'll mark it in blue, okay, because it should look different. So this is your aldehyde group. Okay, I'll mark this separately over here. This is our aldehyde group, CHO. That is how it looks. Okay, now in case of this carbon atom, we see that the valence is satisfied because there are two bonds with oxygen and one bond with carbon and one bond with hydrogen. So nothing more over there. Remaining this has got two bonds. We'll write two more, and here also we'll write three more. Okay, so this is how propanal looks like. Okay, with the aldehyde group attached towards the end, and it includes the carbon atom. Okay, so there are three carbon atoms, hence prop. In because there's single bonds altogether. See, this bond is not counted as a double bond with to decide the functional group. This double bond is actually part of this entire CHO, the aldehyde group. Okay, hence you don't say that it becomes propanal. Okay, it is propanal because the fact that this is a separate functional group that comes and attaches to these two carbon atoms, and because there are three carbon atoms we say it is prop. Okay, we don't have to go into details about aldehyde. That is you'll know about more about it if you take science in the 11th standard. Let's move to the last two which are remaining, that is ketone and carboxylic acid. So in case of ketone, you mark this as ketone, and the functional group is, this is your functional group, and it is always a suffix hyphen one. So it's not pronounced as one, it is on. Okay, ketone. Have a look, ketone. So in case of when you have three carbon atoms, example in this case would be prop, change this, prop, sorry, non. Okay, the prop is telling you that there are three carbon atoms. En is telling you straight chain, single bonds, and ONE is telling you the functional groups. Structurally, if we draw, it will look something like this, but before that I'll just bring it to your attention once again that this is actually nothing but propane, and the E at the end is replaced by ONE. Okay, structural diagram, it will look something like this. So we have carbon, 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 and this carbon will look like this. Okay, so I'll mark this separately. Instead of red, put this in blue because part of the functional group actually. CO. Okay, now this carbon atom does not need any more bonds formation because there are already four surrounding it. These will need more. This has only one, so we put three over here, and this has also one, so we put three over here. Okay, now have a look at your functional group. Okay, that's what I put over here, C with a double bond O. Okay, three carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, hence prop. En because they are all single bonds, this double bond doesn't count in giving you proper non. This is completely together as a unit, and that is why this is a functional group of ketone, hence ONE, proper non. Okay. When we talk about whether it will be propi-non, we look at the double bonds between carbon atoms. Okay, we see if there are any double bonds formed between carbon atoms. Here there is a double bond formed between a carbon atom and an oxygen atom. So that comprises a functional group. Okay, we'll come to the last one, and once again that is carboxylic acid, and once again we'll take a word root as prop, that is 3 carbon atom. I'll put it down over here, prop, and that's carboxylic acid. Okay, and the formula is something like this, COOH. Okay, and it is a suffix, so it's always known as it will end with oic acid. Okay, oic acid. Let's have a look. So if we have prop as 3 carbon atom, it will be an example we can give as prop anoic acid. Propanoic acid. Prop tells you there is 3 carbon atoms here. An tells you there are single bond, and oic acid, okay, tells you that it is the carboxylic acid functional group. Once again, you see how propanoic acid is written. It comes from the word propane, where E is replaced by oic acid, just like how E was replaced by one in case of ketone group. To draw the structural diagram, it will look something like along these lines. So we put down the 3 carbon atoms, okay, except the one at the end, because it's part of the functional group. I'll mark it with C, with a double bond O and a single bond to OH group. So this is more like a combination, you can say, of alcohol group and also the ketone group. See, ketone is C double bond O, and alcohol we learnt is OH. So when alcohol group and ketone group come together, we get the carboxylic acid functional group. So now over here we don't need any more bonds for this carbon atom because it's already got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This carbon atom has got 2, so we need just 2 more. So we'll put 1 over here and 1 over here. This carbon atom is only 1, so we need to put 3 more. Okay, and now if you notice, we have got our functional group in place. That's why oic acid, they are all single bonds with the carbon atoms, hence An, and it is prop because there are 3 carbon atoms. So we have propanoic acid. Okay, so this in this case in our video we have taken we have used examples with the word root prop. We've just taken 3 carbon acid. You can try it out with different word roots, with eth or maybe with bute or even pent, okay, to check how your naming will come. Here we are interested only in naming. You don't have to worry much about the structural diagram. That is just to show you how it will look like if you draw it. But we are interested only in naming the carbon compound, because in the exam you will actually be given a compound and you would actually have to tell what type of functional group is associated with that compound. Like you may get over here propanoic acid, and from that you need to identify that okay, it's a carboxylic acid group because the suffix is ended with oic acid. Or in case of propanol, from there you will come to know okay, the suffix is ending with -one, that means it is a ketone. Okay, so we cover the part where we have to name and identify various carbon compounds based on the number of carbon atoms, based on the fact whether they have forming single bond, double bond or triple bonds between carbon atoms, or based on the various functional groups, whether there is a heteroatom that is replacing the hydrogen atom in case of maybe aldehyde, ketone, carboxylic acid or even the halogens. So if you've liked the video, please click the like button, share it with your friends and classmates. Please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.